think it's safe to rest here now.
Hmm?
Yeah!
Hmm? Hey.
Hmm? Hey, did you make off with that armor while none of us were looking? Because I've gotta admit, you look pretty snazzy in it.
He didn't steal it, if that's what you mean. Bregan gave it to him as a parting gift.
Ah, right. Although it makes sense, I guess. It's like a symbol of rebellion in its own way.
Which is why it should have been your father wearing this, not me.
I don't know. I don't think he could have pulled it off like you, man.
I wonder what the last wearer of this armor was dreaming of for Cyslodia when they decided to rise up and fight.
Who knows? Anyone who could have answered that is long gone. Truth is always lost with the departed.
Are you saying there's no point in trying to understand why they gave up their lives?
No, only that it's impossible to know for sure. Look, I can tell that you're concerned about Cyslodia's future, but we do have other things to take care of. You can't shoulder all of the world's problems, Alphen. If you try to, you'll only find yourself buried by the weight of it all.
Yeah, I know. My path is forward, and I'll do what I can, here and now.
You were born in Calaglia, right, Law?
Hmm? Oh yeah. It's scalding hot all the time there, so I was shocked when I learned Cyslodia is the exact opposite. Not to mention dark.
Not anymore, thankfully.
How did you even manage to cross the border between realms? All 5 realms are supposed to be closed off, due to the nature of the crown contest.
What? Is this an interrogation now?
I didn't mean it like that. I just figured if a Dahnan like you was able to slip between realms, it could come in handy later.
Ah, good thinking. I don't think I really did anything all that creative, though.
What? Don't tell me you climbed over the walls of fire.
Oh, hell no. Not even Zeugles could do something that crazy. Nah, I stowed away.
In what?
Oh, you'll like this. The realms don't maintain much contact with each other, but there are resources each is looking to trade for. So, there are cargo convoys from each of the lords that go around a few times a year to lend those resources to each other.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. That was the only time the gates of Calaglia would ever open up.
Right. Obviously, they don't let Danins ride with them. So I snuck on board inside some cargo instead.
So you were carried out of the realm? You did great not getting caught. Way to go.
Let's just say I've always had a knack for sneaking around since I was little. I was also really desperate to get the hell out of Calaglia at the time. I had more guts than brains that day. If I had to guess, I probably wasn't the first one to ever do something like that. Danin or Renan.
I wonder if that's how Ganabelt, was able to hear about what happened in Calaglia so quickly.
So in other words, we should always assume that the enemy is informed about whatever it is that we may be up to, wherever we go.
Thanks for letting me stick around, you guys.
Sure, we're happy to have you. But are you sure you don't want to head back to Calaglia?
Yeah, I'm not sure how I can help yet. But for now,
That too.
lowered. It can't be lowered.
Oh, help!
Swallow Blade! First strike!
Destruction!
Storm! Swallow Blade!
You made quick work of them.
Want me to pick up your
These
slack
ones
then?
can run
Just
rings
pointing it
around
out.
us.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Well, looky here.
It's on!
Mine.
Slash!
They're surrounding us.
Swallow Blade! Tectonic Punch!
We are freaking invincible!
Alvin and the others truly are strong.
Ignite!
What about me?
First! Next!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
We're in good form!
Isn't that what we were asked to find?
It's on!
Swallow Blade!
This one's mine.
Slash! Swallow
The
Blade!
tide of
I'm on
battle has
slash!
turned.
That's the power of comrades in arms.
Right, comrades in arms.
Anything in arms. What? Too sentimental?
Ha! We won that by a mile.
I think I'll try to make that new recipe with this.
All right, but I'll decide how spicy it is.
What's wrong?
Really?
Ah!
Sure.
Hey,
Ah!
Right.
got it.
Hey! Ah,
Yes!
I don't mind helping out, but where are we supposed to find these apples?
Yeah. What?
I hate camping out.
I guess even someone as fashionable as you wouldn't know a whole lot about Dahnan armor, right?
Not really, no. Like, what's with that scarf? I don't remember that being with any of the armor we found back there.
Oh, well, remember how you told me you thought I'd look good wearing some blue? I took your advice to heart and decided to give it a go.
Oh, I see. Well, it suits you.
Would you say I've learned to spruce things up like you suggested?
I wouldn't go that far.
This is perfect! I'll have everybody's mouths watering when they see this!
Shion, could we talk a moment?
Shouldn't you be resting?
I wanted to talk with you for a bit.
I don't really want to talk right now.
Right. I'll, stop bothering you then.
I didn't say you were bothering me. Sorry. Don't take it personally. I'm just not used to being around other people, so I don't really know how to chit-chat.
Well, for a start, you let your guard down a little. Hey, here's a thought. What if you tell me about your childhood?
What with my thorns and all, I didn't really have one. Not to speak of, anyway. Although, I guess I did have one friend.
Who was it?
A really old doll.
Oh.
When I was a little girl, the doll was the only thing I could touch and hold without worrying about my thorns hurting it. I would do things like dress it up or sit it on my lap when I was eating. The two of us were practically inseparable.
Can I ask something?
Is it about the fact that I played with dolls?
No, it isn't. I only wanted to ask who gave you the doll in the first place.
I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Where is it now?
I had to leave it behind when I left Lenegis. I didn't have a choice. Most likely it's long gone at this point. You go ahead and sleep. I'm going to grab another bite to eat first. Morning. Ready to head out?
Law?
Yeah, sorry. Just a little travel weary is all. Looking forward to finally getting out of here, you know?
Still beating yourself up about your dad, aren't you?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. But that's not what I was just thinking about.
Oh?
I never did tell you how I ended up hanging around with the Snake Eyes, did I?
Not properly. All I know is you had a falling out with your dad and ran away from home.
Getting to Cyslodia almost killed me. Once there, though, I actually ended up joining a resistance organization, believe it or not. Of course, before long, someone ratted us out. And we were ambushed by the Snake Eyes. I'd never seen such brutality. If I hadn't surrendered...
Law?
I don't know why. They let me live. They made me watch as they butchered my friends right in front of my eyes. I still have nightmares. I hear roars of Zeugles as my friends scream. The snow stained red with blood. And all the while, those bastards laughing. I thought that with Ganabelt defeated, I'd be able to put it all behind me. Turns out that was a little optimistic. I was terrified they would kill me too. So I wound up betraying the memory of my friends and getting my old man killed in the process. I wonder if I'm any braver now. What if one day I panic again and end up running away like always?
And leave us behind? You really think you'd do that?
I hope not. But who's to say what I'm really capable of?
Ah! I found you.
Something wrong, Rinwell?
How very perceptive of you. When I turned around, you were gone, so we came back to look for you.
Maybe tell us next time you decide to stop? We need all our manpower to face these Zeugles.
Jeez, okay. I can't help it when nature calls, can I?
Nature? Ew, gross! Here?
Let's make tracks, shall we?
I hope he makes it through this.
You invited him along. He's your liability.
He's Zephyr's son, Shion. What was I supposed to do? Just leave him?
Fine. Just don't come crying to me about it, all right? I've got enough deadbeats slowing me down as it is.
Why did people dig this path so far underground?
Maybe it was too dangerous on the mountains for them to traverse over them.
So you're saying that before Dahna was conquered, Dahnans made this so that they'd have a way to get through the mountains?
If I had to guess, they might have even lived inside of these once upon a time.
Not like there's any way of knowing now. Not after all our history was lost.
No, it wasn't lost. It was stolen from us by the Renans because they thought slaves didn't need it. And because keeping it around would have made it harder to control us.
It's not all gone. Look at that over there.
What is it? It looks like a broken piece from a dish or something.
Probably. It's true the Renans erased a lot of our history. But if we look hard enough, I think we'll find there's still plenty of it left. But first, we have to win the freedom to even look for it.
We'll win it all right. Then we'll reclaim our history.
Brace yourselves! This one's tough!
Here is the Lion's Fury! Burn
This one's all mine!
Get on in there with the
Eat
others!
dirt!
Blow away! You're mine!
Be careful, everyone! This one isn't normal!
A banana!
They got me flanked!
Line
free!
Coming through! Do it!
The tide of
Shion.
battle has...
Astral energy!
Say no more!
You sure showed them.
All in a day's work.
I guess Messia is the first place we met. Hala.
Yeah, I was a Snake Eye and you were a Silver Sword. Who would have thought we'd end up on the same team?
You make an odd pair, it's true.
You guys are the odd ones. Running with... the Renan. Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret it.
Bullseye. Raging Cascade.
Destruction!
Burning Strike.
Bet that shell's hiding something tasty.
Into the shadows. Confiscated.
I'll run you through!
It's on! armor's too strong.
Then I'll split it open!
Be my guest.
Do it!
Destruction!
It's in the sky, it's mine! Where are you going?
Swallow blade!
Do it!
Good move!
Astral energy!
Say no more. Got it!
Well done.
Swallow blade! Destruction!
Hold together, just a little longer.
Thanks for the sympathy.
Get it together. We need you in form.
Do it! Good move!
Astral energy!
Say no more. Onward and upward.
No holding back.
This'll be a piece of cake! Blow away! Anything in order is all mine!
Here's the evil.
If it hides, just smash it out again. Raging Devastator!
Sleep now. Here's a healing arc.
Ignite!
Down in there together.
These little ones
Did
are
you just
hardly
heal
worth
me?
our... Yes, I need you.
Xion, astral energy! Full throttle!
Take it.
Swallow blade!
I'm only getting started.
Feel!
Swallow blade!
Get on
astral
there together. That's my cue.
Swallow blade! Shut him down!
Take it.
Wind astral energy!
I'm only getting
Alright.
started.
Now!
It's on!
That's enough! Demons descend! Flashing fang!
Thank goodness we won.
This won't be easy.
Swallow blade!
Don't be such a pessimist.
You picked the wrong fight!
Here's the healing arc.
Armor won't save you!
Lightning
I
cannon!
really owe you one.
Slice!
Cover the
I
counter!
really owe you one.
Crush! First strike!
Leave the enemy's arcs to me.
Bang blast!
No complaints
Why'd you
here!
heal me?
To stop you dying? Where are you going?
Swallow blade!
Dust to dust!
Destruction!
Reload!
Let's give it a whirl. Sleep now.
Blow away!
Destruction!
Tucked away. Hear me!
Swallow blade!
Fury! Thunderblade!
Destruction!
Talon storm!
Swallow blade!
Hand flame! Regains in the wind!
I'm out.
I'm on
to the
Swallow blade!
Now!
Destruction!
Like we're gonna lose to Small Fry.
I have a bad feeling about
Swallow
this.
blade!
I'm
on Destruction!
Storm!
Shattering
Destruction!
They may look cute and stuff, but they're vicious.
Slice! First strike! Talon storm!
Is
Got
Here,
fire.
let me help.
Burn
I'm
it
down!
out.
Let a marksman handle it.
Big blast. All yours. Crush.
Take it. How's this?
I'm on. Swallow blade. Come and
Hit.
get it.
Here's another.
Big blast. Destruction.
Photon, lightning
Slash.
condemned. Annihilation.
Swallow blade. Destruction.
Here.
Now.
Now.
Crush.
I'm ready.
Slash. Dust to
I
dust.
never miss.
Do it. Swallow blade.
Law.
Demons descend. Flashing fang. Easy.
Way to go.
Swallow blade.
Down here.
You.
Let's get you all tucked away.
Looks like we won.
Brace yourselves. This one's tough.
Annihilation.
Magma. Destruction.
Lightning
Hurricane. Swallow blade.
Dance in the wind. There.
Slash.
Got you.
Swallow blade.
I'll smash you!
Huh? Not today.
Talon Hurricane. Gemini Aqua.
Do it.
This is it.
Swallow blade. Slash.
Raging
Destruction.
Cascade.
Talon
Hurricane.
Swallow
Here.
blade.
Get out of there with the others.
Watch it. Swallow blade.
Here, let me help. Lightning Orb.
Crush.
Grenade.
Thanks.
Now.
Storm.
Hold up. Is this as valuable as I think it is?
All this walking up and down is a pain.
Yeah, I wish we could just go straight through without all this hassle.
On the other hand, the collapsed parts let you reach some places you wouldn't be able to otherwise.
Now that you mention it, the ceiling's not gonna come down on us, is it?
Hey, Law. Back when we left Cisleden, you remember how you said so long as you don't give up, there's nothing to stop someone starting over?
Yeah?
Well, I think you did just that. You've set out on a new path despite what happened in your past. Besides, you're not the only one fumbling your way through things.
You too?
It was your dad who taught me to fight. Back at the start of all this, I knew that so long as I followed him, I wouldn't end up straying. But it was also your dad who told me the importance of becoming my own master, of searching out the answers within me. I always figured I would one day. But at the same time, I had so much more to learn. When he died, I suddenly found myself rudderless. Sure, our immediate goal is to defeat all the lords. But then what comes after that? There's no one left to point me in the right direction. It was then that I realized, no matter how much I fret about it, the only thing I can do is fight. Renin brutality isn't going to right itself. So that's what I'm doing. Fighting. And in the meantime, I'll try to figure out my next move. Right now, that's about all I can do.
And you really believe you got what it takes to win this? Against all the odds?
Yes, I do. Or at least I want to. If I'm being completely honest, sometimes I'm not really sure whether I can or not. So what if we're still figuring stuff out? If we do it together, then we can support one another along the way. Is there anything so wrong with that?
No, I don't think there is. I think I get it now. We may not know what we're capable of, but we have to try all the same.
Having another one of your secret meetings? Don't tell me you were taking yet another bathroom break?
Oh, we were just engaging in a bit of brotherly bonding. Isn't that right, Alphen?
Yeah, that's right.
Fine then, suit yourselves. Hey, I think I can feel a breeze up ahead. I bet the exit is real close.
Finally! Man, it's been too long since I felt the sun on my face. When I get in a tussle, I go full force right at him. Whoever makes the first move wins.
I do have to admit, it's quite the spectacle to watch you charge in and go to town on someone during a battle.
Yeah, it was actually my old man who taught me to fight that way. The more I lay the beat down on some baddies, the more fired up my fists of fury get.
Zephyr taught you? Wow. I guess you really are following in his footsteps.
There's nothing wrong with being so focused on offense, but the enemy always fights back at some point.
As long as I don't get hit, it's not a problem, right?
So what you're saying is you're too weak to take a hit.
You're not exactly one to talk.
What were you two talking about earlier?
Earlier? Oh, it was just serious guy talk. You know, the kind that girls don't get to hear.
Really?
Don't mind him, Rinwell. It's just... well, maybe it is a little difficult to talk about in front of women.
Difficult to talk about? Okay, now I really want to hear it. Unless... it's not the creepy sort of guy talk, right?
No! Okay? It's not creepy!
Okay, okay. As long as you're fighting fit, you can talk about whatever you like.
I think Hootle senses something. We're finally here. Elde Menancia, the land of green. The place certainly lives up to its name, doesn't it?
Yeah, just feel that breeze. It's like night and day compared to Calaglia and Cyslodia.
Unsullied, fertile land, as far as the eye can see. That's beautiful. Oh, what?
Oh, nothing. Just... I was thinking the very same thing.
That's the realm capital in the distance. The city of Vicent. A word to the wise before we continue. Elde Menancia has produced more sovereigns over the years than any other.
Shionne! Guess we should probably follow after her, shouldn't we? Hey, you all right, Law?
Yeah, fine. I was just thinking how Dad would have enjoyed this view. All this green in one place is... incredible. Anyway, let's get moving before we start looking tasty to monsters.
Is he going to be okay?
Eventually. That's a wall he'll have to overcome on his own. What's wrong?
Huh? Yes! So if I remember right, there are 6 elements of astral energy, and darkness is only on Rena, and light can only be found on Dana, right?
Right. I only remember because my parents drilled it all into my head when I was little.
How did we find out about dark astral energy in the first place if it's not on Dana, though?
Beats me. I couldn't tell you how or when we figured out that sort of stuff. I'm sure there's other stuff we've forgotten along the way, too.
Yeah, I bet. And then we forget that knowledge was even forgotten at all, and it's back to square one.
Exactly. That's why we need to take good care of what knowledge and artifacts we still have left.
You really have a thing for old stuff, don't you?
Well, I don't know that I'd call it just a thing. It's also something that helps me feel connected to our world.
Connected?
It's nothing. Forget I even mentioned it. I should have guessed that there'd be no way he'd understand. How could he? Should we really take this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey!
Mm-hmm. Just great.
That can't be.
Nice.
Very well.
Maybe... We should have left them alone.
Thanks, Xion.
Why are you thanking me?
Why do you keep staring at me, Xion?
Just, what is that?
That turned out good, if I do say so myself. Mind if I join you, Law?
Hey, Alphen. When do you find the time to train?
What's brought this on all of a sudden?
It's just, even without the Blazing Sword, you'd still be able to hold your own, right? But I never see you training.
I'd hardly call it a regimen. Unless exchanging blows with Zeugles counts.
I mean, sure, I get that real-life practice beats training any day. But you must have the odd trick or two up your sleeve.
I just told you, I really don't.
Wait, I've got it. It's your armor, right? You channel the extra weight into your strikes and...
It's actually not as heavy as it looks.
So not the armor, huh? In that case...
Just calm down a little, would you? Why are you so fixated on this anyway?
Well, because I want to make myself stronger.
You're strong enough as it is. I almost feel sorry for those Renan soldiers.
It's not enough. I need to keep working to get stronger. I won't allow myself to fail anyone again.
Law?
I'm useless the way I am now. If someone else dies because of me...
Law!
Sorry. Spiraling into self-doubt won't do me any favors. I know that.
None of us are invincible, Law. We're all just getting by, doing the best we can.
That's all we can ask of each other, right? It's as good a place as any to start, I guess.
To start what?
My new training regimen, of course. And what better way to kick it off than push-ups? 1, 2, 3, 4...
I admire your enthusiasm. Just don't overdo it, okay?
Just wait. You'll see how strong I can get. See you guys tomorrow. I feel pretty refreshed after that sleep.
Do you sense one of your... friends, Hootle?
Just great.
I get... Yeah!
Great!
I have a bad feeling about
Rising
this.
Wyvern!
Condemned!
Mirage!
Storm!
Destruction!
Gemini Aqua!
Rising Wyvern!
Hurricane! Lightning there!
Eagle Fly!
If they rush you gotta jump for cover, okay?
Mirage!
By the power
Wind!
of water!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
I'm never this!
Rising Wyvern!
Eagle Fly!
Mirage!
Tidal Fury!
Wind!
Now!
Brace yourselves! This one's tough!
Raging Cascade!
Mirage!
Metal right here! Get on in there with the others!
You picked the wrong fight! Talon Hurricane!
It's a duel of the
Rising
Aqua!
Wyvern! Mirage!
Armor won't save you!
Rising
Flying
Wyvern!
freaks! Why can't they just sit still?
Xion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
We did it!
This is barely target practice.
Then why bother fighting them?
Because I certainly won't run away from a battle.
Hey, would you look at that? Green as far as the eye can see. I think even the Zeugles look a little fuller than they usually do.
They're still Zeugles, just on a fuller stomach. Don't forget, this is enemy territory we're in.
I see a village over there.
The people working in it look Dahnan.
Look at these fields and all this livestock. Am I crazy for thinking these people seem to have it pretty easy?
What the hell is going on?
Ah!
All right. Yeah. Good.
That...
I guess...
Yes! I don't believe this!
Huh? Really? Who would have thought we'd be raising animals in a place like this?
Since we've decided to stop, we should make use of the opportunity.
Do you mean me? Me?
It doesn't matter who.
I think Poodle senses something.
You okay? You made a weird sound.
Sorry. I was just thinking how amazing this view is.
What's the matter? Haven't you ever seen mountains and fields before?
Actually, now that I think about it, it's not every day we get to enjoy views like this.
You too?
Yeah. Calaglia has rocky landscapes, but the terrain here is completely different. Like, you see that mountain over there? Doesn't it look like a big wave that somebody turned into stone?
Right? And those ones look like the horns or claws of some giant monster. I'm surprised they managed to stay up.
Yeah. Just be thankful we don't have to pass under them.
Actually,
They won't come tumbling down that easily.
You sure about that?
Menancia harvests earth energy, which explains why the topography is so varied here. It's also why those rocks are bound to be sturdy.
So all that astral energy is also what makes this realm look so lush then? Does astral energy really have that much of an impact on the land?
Yeah. Is that why even that mountain looks the way that it does?
The stronger the energy is, the greater impact it has on lots of things. So yes, like a great big fire.
but these imbalances are too pronounced to be nature's work. It's not how Dana would otherwise naturally look.
If it's not natural, then you mean all of this is the Renans doing?
When you put it like that, even something as nice looking as this starts to feel wrong.
Look, Renan soldiers.
Do the Renans control this city? I've never seen so many of them in one place before.
No. Look at the cores on them. These people are all Danans. They're slaves.
If they are, they're awfully well dressed.
And they're smiling too. Something weird's going on here.
Forgive the intrusion, but if I'm not mistaken, you're newcomers to Elda Menancia, yes? Please, you have no reason to be alarmed. My name is Drashin. I work at the Department for Welfare.
Department for Welfare?
We work to support the day-to-day living of all citizens. Welcoming newcomers to the realm is a part of our job, albeit one we rarely have the pleasure to perform.
Let me guess. We get a free pair of shackles as a welcome gift.
Perish the thought! Your trepidation is perfectly understandable, but I assure you, our way is quite different. In the past, this realm was no different from any other, and run by a rather merciless ruler. But all of that changed once His Excellency, Lord Dohalim, assumed power 7 years ago.
Dohalim.
Under him, for the first time in our lives, we Danans were treated with the respect we deserve. Lord Dohalim is adored by Danans throughout the realm, and we serve him with gladness.
Am I hearing you right? The Danans here willingly serve a Renan lord?
Please, see for yourself. You're free to go anywhere you like. Just ask if you should need anything.
What is it? Spit it out.
It's just We came here to free everyone.
Uh-huh.
But the Dahnans of this realm are all happy to serve Dohalim. Are there any walls that even need tearing down?
Who cares? That just makes our path to Dohalim that much clearer.
I guess, but...
Still, Droshin said we should check things out for ourselves. Maybe we should look around a bit, see what we learn.
Everyone is all smiles.
I've never seen a city so lively before.
I guess.
Sure. Sure.
Okay!
Got it.
Just great. Well...
All right!
What are you gonna use the prize money for?
What else? Eating until my stomach bursts.
That sounds right up Shion's alley. Everyone walking the streets looks so calm and happy. I guess it really is true they don't treat Dahnans as slaves here.
Did they actually somehow achieve equality here? And if they did, why? To what end?
Something here doesn't feel right. Even though they sure want to act like it does.
What is going through that Lord Dohalim's mind, I wonder?
I still can't believe I'm seeing Dahnans and Renans getting along.
You never know. It could all... Do you sense one of your friends, Hootle?
My dad's working in the quarry today. So's mine. I'm gonna help him when I grow up.
Looks like Dahnans are working in the quarry.
Let's go check it out.
Stay sharp. We're going in.
I'm sorry. I'm not feeling well today. Could I please take the day off?
Oh, that's terrible. Rest up and try not to strain yourself. I'll let the others know.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Everybody seems so happy working here.
And it seems like the soldiers are there to actually protect them rather than keep an eye on them.
I don't get it. How can it be like this?
Halt! I presume you're Alphen, of Orbis Calaglia? I'm Captain Kisara of the Elda Guard.
Just Kisara? No last name would make you a Dahnan.
So it does. Is that a problem?
The Guard. Wait, so you're saying the Lord of Elda Menancia has Dahnans protecting him?
In this country, Dahnan guardsmen aren't unusual. Everyone who enlists does so of their own free will.
She sounds like she's serious, Alphen.
That makes no sense. Don't your people remember 7 years ago?
Wouldn't you be grateful if you were finally allowed to live as a free person?
And for my part, there is no greater honor than being chosen to serve His Excellency, Lord Dohalim.
I feel no shame. But all of that aside, I came seeking you, Alphen, at Lord Dohalim's behest. He wishes an audience with you.
With us?
Indeed. He awaits you at Autolina Palace. That is, if you choose to accept. I am here only as a messenger, not a kidnapper. Your reply?
All right. We'll meet your lord.
Very well. I shall return and deliver your acceptance. Please don't keep him waiting too long.
Before you go, what lies beyond this point?
A quarry manned by Dahnan laborers.
Nothing else?
There's a Dahnan medical facility for the severely ill at the back. However, for sanitation reasons, it's kept off-limits, even to guardsmen.
That was odd. Why do you think this Dohalim would want to see us?
It's probably a trap.
Still, they already know we're here. Not like we can start being stealthy now. We might as well listen to what he has to say.
Hey, are you sure about going? What if it's a trap?
That's no reason to back out now.
Law's right. I get your concern, but we should buckle down.
That Kisara woman. She sounded pretty smug about serving Dohalim, didn't she?
She still has a Renan for a boss. How is that any different from being a slave?
Renan society is a meritocracy. To us, it's seen as natural that those who sit at the top rule over the rest.
It's the same old wall as the rest of Dana at the end of the day, just with a different coat of paint.
I guess it can change people's attitudes if they can at least serve someone they respect.
But they're still being deceived. It's obvious that's what's happening.
On the one hand, her loyalty really did seem to be genuine. But on the other hand, Calaglia had its fair share of Danans who just accepted Renan rule because it was all they'd ever known. With that in mind, it can be hard to tell if her loyalty truly came about on its own, or if it's just the result of years of subjugation.
Who knows? It might clear some things up if we hear what Dohalim has to say.
Yeah, you're right. Let's make our way to the palace.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hootle? I just don't get it. The Danans have endured years of suffering. How could they just turn around and trust the Renans all of a sudden?
Yeah, I've been wondering the same thing. But I guess they must have a pretty good reason, right?
Like what? What could erase 300 years of pain and suffering?
Maybe it's precisely because they suffered for so long that they see Dohalim as something of a savior.
Hey, whose side are you on here, Alphen?
Relax, Rinwell. All I'm saying is that we shouldn't jump to assumptions about these people until we know more about the situation.
I just don't get it.
So, do any of you know anything about Lord Dohalim?
I think I remember hearing something back in Sislodan about how he fights using a rod.
A rod?
I don't know the details, but from what I gather, he swings a long rod around and uses it to stab and smack people from afar. I think there's also something he does with, like, trees or grass or something? I forget.
Grass?
Bear in mind that Elda Menancia harvests Earth astral energy. It would be no surprise for him to have some sort of control over plants.
So basically the point is we know nothing about the guy. Wish we weren't going in completely blind.
Hey!
Pretty fancy place they got here.
There's no way this isn't a trap.
Your guest, my lord.
Thank you, Kisara. You're the wielder of the blazing sword, the liberator of Calaglia. You do dress humbly for someone of such grandeur. But where are my manners? I am the ruler of Elda Menencia. I'm Lord Dohalim Ilkaris.
If you know who we are, then you know how strange it is to invite us into your palace.
I thought I'd clear up your misconceptions before things could escalate. What do you say? You did come here to defeat me, did you not?
Perhaps, and what if we did? Are you planning to fight us here?
I don't think that will be necessary. After all, I imagine you've taken in a fair amount of his scent by this point. Have you come across even one slave being abused? Soldiers killing for sport? Suffering of any form? I would hazard that you have not. For I have liberated Menencia from its suffering and brought joy to its people. But if these results are not enough to stay your sword... I commend you for your boldness, but it won't work on me. Still, your would-be assassination cannot go unpunished.
Alphen!
Fair enough. Allow me to host you for dinner. We shall continue our talk then. Kelzelik?
Yes, my lord.
Please escort our guests if you would be so kind.
As you wish, sire.
That's what you get for being so careless.
What I get? What were you thinking attacking him on your own?
What are you upset about? Our whole goal is supposed to be overthrowing the Lords. Remember?
He could have been hurt.
And it wouldn't have been the first time either. What's gotten into you?
Hey, you do know that Alphen is really just worried about you, right?
He's worried?
I mean, that's what it looked like to me. But maybe not.
It pains me to see that Renan cuisine isn't to your liking. I asked my chefs to prepare only the finest delicacies available. 2 wasted opportunities.
Why did you set the Dahnans here free when you took over?
But you are mistaken. You see, I may rule single-handedly, but on my own, even I cannot change the order of things. But what is within my power is the welfare of the people. The fostering of a mutual respect among the classes. This I can change.
Sounds a lot like the Dahnans are still oppressed, if you ask me.
Only in the sense they continue to serve as laborers, yes. However, I assure you they are fairly compensated for their efforts. This harmony we strive for is the current pinnacle of Renan-Dahnan coexistence.
Harmony and coexistence between the Renans and the Dahnans.
What about the crown contest? This doesn't exactly make you a shoo-in.
And yet, the Dahnans here are even more productive than when they used to face daily lashings. In any case, the crown contest is of little importance to me, and even less to Elda Menencia. You see, I have no interest in becoming sovereign.
Stop this! Please, it's over! Stop!
How could you? I swear, I'll never forgive you for this!
It is not by choice that one assumes the throne of a realm. But sovereign is a different matter entirely. I have no interest in playing their game.
Are you saying you'll withdraw from the contest?
I guess if you don't plan to ascend the throne, there's not much reason to harvest energy from Dahnans, is there?
Let the ambitious fight it out amongst themselves. All I care for is maintaining peace throughout my realm.
So what? Your personal desires are all that matter to you?
Take a look in the mirror. I may not play their games, but you have outright betrayed your own. You've torn down 2 of my fellow lords. What precisely is your aim? Spare me your answer. I care not for your reasons. Suffice it to say, I will not impede you. That said, should you threaten the peace of my realm, I will respond. I suggest you conclude your business and leave Menancia at your earliest convenience. Kelzelik. Our guests depart. Please see to their lodgings for the night.
I shall arrange for rooms for you all at a local inn. It is a short ways down the road. You may stay there for the night, after which I suggest you promptly make your departure.
Damn, look at how ritzy this place is. How many rooms do you think it's... God.
Don't you think you're being a little too relaxed? They could strike at any moment.
If they were going to attack us, they would have done it already.
So you're the blazing sword of Calaglia now, huh? Come to think of it, I remember Ganabelt calling you that too.
Yeah, you're getting to be pretty famous among the lords.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing either.
What do you mean? That's something you should be proud of, if anything, Alphen. They're scared of you, man. You're a real badass.
It's not as simple as that, Law. The more well-known he is, the more people might come after him.
No, that's not what I'm worried about.
It isn't?
When people call me that, it feels like there's something hanging over me that shouldn't be there. It's hard to put into words, but it's something that doesn't feel like a part of me. Something I can't let be a part of me. Or else.
Well, I still think it's pretty amazing, but that's just me.
Do you really think we should trust accommodations from a Renan Lord? How do we know it's safe?
Like we have any other choice. We can't go and set up camp outside of town at this hour.
Honestly, I'd still take that over staying here. What if they try to kill us in our sleep?
I doubt that's the case. His best chance to kill us would have been back at the palace. His true intentions aside, for now, at least we're in his good books.
Then we probably shouldn't test his patience. Let's find that inn and check in.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hootle?
Interesting. All we ever got was a tattered blanket, a rock-hard bed, and well past its prime food.
What are you talking about?
What we got for our slave labor back in Calaglia. As you can tell, it wasn't much at all. Here, the Dahnans get the same basic amenities, but the quality is way better than anything we were given. Hell, apparently they even get time off to do what they want. If I'm being honest, I'm not sure how to take all this in.
Could it be that things were simply harsher in Calaglia compared to everywhere else?
It was the same in Cyslodia, too. Our buildings and clothing were equipped to handle the cold, but that was the only difference. Working the floodlights was a form of punishment, so we didn't really get rewarded for anything that we did.
Yeah, you could be assigned to fix food or make daily necessities too, but when all was said and done, most of that stuff went to the Renans. There wasn't much in the way of compensation for any of that, so I'd say that Cyslodia and Calaglia were both pretty awful.
Then Elde Menancia really is unusual.
To say the least. Hell, I might even go so far as to call it crazy. But the fact remains, Dahnans aren't free here.
Yeah, no matter how happy they look, they're still slaves.
I don't even know what to think right now. This is all way too much to deal with. It's giving me a headache. So that was Lord Dohalim, huh? He sure is something. Definitely not like the other lords we've met up until now.
At first, he sounded like just some snobby royal, but he immediately shut down Shion's surprise attack. He's tougher than he looks.
Definitely. After all, he's a lord for a reason.
The food was pretty damn good, too.
Why are you two complimenting him? You just said it yourself, Alphen. He's a Renan Lord.
Yeah, but he didn't act hostile towards us.
You're reading him wrong. He's acting indifferent. He's attempting to keep some distance between himself and everyone else. It's obvious.
What are we going to do then? Vicente seems to be legit peaceful. Are we just gonna do as he says and leave things be?
I'm not entirely sure. For now, I think it would be best for us to rest at the inn and think about our options.
Welcome, fair travelers. Lord Dohalim's retainer told us to expect you. It is an honor for you to stay with us. Please, make yourselves comfortable.
This is better than I expected.
Hmm?
The room. It's nice.
Huh? Oh, yeah. It is pretty nice.
You okay, La? You're a million miles away.
Nah, it's weird. I felt strange ever since we arrived here. Can't seem to shake it. Maybe it's something about this place.
You're just tired. I'm feeling pretty sluggish myself.
You too? Seriously, you two? A word to the wise, our work here is far from over. Get yourselves together.
Sorry, but I need to call it a day. Let's meet back here tomorrow morning and see where things go from there. Sound good?
Sure, but keep an eye out for anything strange, okay? We still don't know how safe this place really is. Are you two feeling any better?
Yeah, a good night's sleep seems to have done the trick.
I wonder why we felt so out of it. You think it might have been because of all the food we ate?
You don't think they slipped something into our food, do you? That must be it.
If they were making an attempt on our lives, we'd know it by now. Though, on the other hand, they could be warning us off.
Come to think of it, you didn't eat anything at the meal, Rinwell. Aren't you starving?
Oh, I made myself something later.
You missed out. That was some mighty fancy grub they served yesterday.
What? And give the enemy a chance to poison me too? Are you crazy?
What's the big deal? Shion ate it too, remember? And we both tried the same stuff.
Well, maybe they laced it with poison that's only harmful to Danins,
That's enough, Rinwell.
A cat? Where'd it come from?
There's something on its collar. Hold on a sec.
I think it's trying to lead us somewhere.
I'm gonna follow it.
Hey! Where do you think you're going? Whoo! Do you sense one of your friends who... Poodle? There it is!
Stay close. We're gonna lose it.
What's gotten into you, Law?
This might be the lead we've been waiting for.
Seriously?
Yeah. Some people train animals to act as messengers. They don't attract attention, see?
And you think that someone might be using that cat? To reach out and send us a message or something?
I could be wrong, but it's possible.
I'm impressed. I would never have thought of that.
I should know. We used to use them in Cyslodia.
She's so adorable.
You say something?
So, that black cat, do you think it works for someone?
I'm sure it does. It wouldn't try to lead us around like that if somebody didn't train it to.
I wouldn't know. I've never had one myself. If I did, it'd probably try to eat poor Hootle.
I wonder who they are, though. I doubt this is Dohalim's work.
Yeah, he has no reason to do this. Although we can't rule out that it might be one of his lackeys either.
You think one of his subordinates is up to something?
That Dohalim guy is a pretty unusual character for a Renan, let alone for a lord. It's hard for me to imagine that they all agree with what he's doing. Maybe one of them plucked up the courage to go rogue.
Well, let's head further in. I'd like to figure out at least one of the mysteries of this place.
Where do you think it's trying to lead us?
Who knows? We should hurry. We don't want to lose it.
Whoever came up with this is pretty damn clever.
Yeah, it just looks like an ordinary cute cat.
We lost sight of the cat.
After the chase it's led us on, there's gotta be something up ahead.
Let's go farther in.
I get that underground forests aren't exactly something you see every day, but I really could have done without any Zeugles running around.
You said it. I get the city up top surrounded by castle walls, but now I won't be able to sleep easy knowing they're lurking underneath.
You have nothing to fear. Zeugles work for the Renans. There might be strays out here, but the other Zeugles won't let them get close.
Using Zeugles to keep watch over their own kind, huh? That would explain why we're not seeing any guards.
Yeah, which makes it that much easier for someone to hide around here, too.
Ah! Sorry, Shionne. My foot slipped. Are you all right?
I should be asking you. What am I saying? Of course you're okay. It's easy to forget sometimes. If anybody else had been in your place, they'd be howling right about now.
Huh? Oh, right. You mean your thorns. Yeah, I'm, no worse for wear over here. Again, sorry for brushing you like that without warning.
Well, just be careful. Hey, Alphen?
Hmm?
Forget it. It's nothing. I'm sorry to bother you.
Oh, okay.
What's with those two?
Don't get careless!
Wind!
Don't tell me!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Let's get you all tucked away!
Rising Wall!
Sealed! Whatever you do, just stay away from the force! Alright!
Rising Wyvern!
Come one, come all!
I'll finish you here and now! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Rising Wyvern!
Sabotage field!
All in Talon Hurricane!
I can't lay a finger on you.
I prefer it that way.
Rising Wyvern!
What about you?
Just watch and see.
Where are you going?
Rising Wyvern!
Air thrust!
I can feel my precision improving.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret things.
Rising Cat!
Annihilation!
Eat dirt!
Eat this!
Rising Wyvern!
Are those arms even natural?
Now you see what I can do!
Mirage!
Eat this!
I owe you one! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Rising Wyvern!
Let's hurricane! Do it! Shionne, astral energy! Full throttle!
I can feel my power growing! The reason the trees around here are so big is because of astral energy, right?
It's possible, but give them enough time and trees can get pretty big on their own without any extra help.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret things.
It's on! Not today!
Wind astral energy!
Rising
To the
Wyvern!
wind! Air thrust! Eagle photon! Do it! Lost! Demons descend!
Flashing Fang!
So, did you like my boost art?
Yeah, it was off the charts.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Rising Wyvern!
Lightning Orb! Rage Cascade!
I'm on it!
In
This
here!
one's gonna be tough. Rising Wyvern!
Talon Hurricane!
Lightning Orb!
Talon
Hey! One at a time!
Let the marksman handle this.
Get out there with the others!
Talon Storm!
Rising Wyvern!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Lightning
These
Condemn!
little ones are...
Less talking, more pummeling.
That extra training paid off.
No holding back!
This one's all mine.
This'll be a piece of cake. Ready and ready.
Rising
Don't
Wyvern!
mind if I do!
Here's a
Armor
healing
won't
arc!
save you. I'm on it.
First aid!
Talon Hurricane! Eagle
You got
Fly!
fire?
I've got it!
Demons Descend! Flashing Fang! Easy!
Way to go!
Rising Wyvern!
Flame of Fury!
Talon Hurricane!
Glacial Spear!
Eagle
Here's
Fly!
shield!
Get out of there with the others!
An astral art?
That's my cue!
Off my
Shut him down!
The enemy!
Start up!
Eat this! Paradise the wind!
Glacial
Lightning
Spear!
Wyvern!
Here's evil!
My astral energy! Lightning!
We are freaking invincible!
Alvin and the others truly are strong!
Rising hit
What about
star!
me?
Take it!
Not today!
I'm even stronger than before. Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret
Here's
this.
evil! Feel! Bring
Lightning
it on!
Strike! That freaking does it!
Lightning
I'm on
Orb!
it!
Okay, here I go.
That freaking does it!
Where are you going?
Air thrust! Photon snap!
Like it!
Remote!
Astral energy!
Say no more. Got it.
Well done!
Rising Wyvern!
Here, let me help! Ready and ready! First aid!
I really owe you one.
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Here's a healing arc!
Rising Wyvern!
Thank you. With this, I can become even stronger.
What's this thing?
No holding back.
Rising Wyvern!
This'll be a piece of
In
cake!
here.
Armor won't save you!
This'll don't mind if I do.
First strike!
Lightning condemn.
I'll run you through!
Not today!
Do it! Now for some
Talon Hurricane!
Rising Wyvern!
Eagle Fly! Talon Storm!
Rising Wyvern!
Dance in the wind. Now. There. Go.
Demons Descend! Flashing Fang!
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this.
Looks like trouble with Capital P!
Together, we've got this! Come and face me! Rising Wyvern! Rising Wyvern!
You're mine!
Rising Wyvern!
I'm on it!
Rising Wyvern!
Here, let me help!
Mirage! Now I can let loose!
Glacial Spear!
Mirage!
Here's evil! I'm just getting started! Freeze Lancer! Evil
Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me.
Rinmo!
Astral Energy!
Say no more! That astral energy was incredible!
I gave it everything I had. I think Hoodle's hungry.
Funny. I could have sworn that was your stomach making all the racket. Everywhere you look, it's nothing but green, green, and more green.
Just... This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
I'm on it! Rising Wyvern!
Annihilation!
You picked the wrong fight! This one's all
Armor won't
mine!
save you!
I'm on it! Rising Wyvern!
Do it!
Flash!
Demons descend! Flashing Fang! Easy!
Way to go!
I'm surrounded!
Rising Wyvern! Burn in hell!
Reload!
That's
freaking
my watch!
Rising Wyvern!
Lightning condemned! First
First
aid!
strike!
One more
Stardust!
Back into the
Eagle
fray!
Side!
Rising Wyvern! Rinmo!
Astral Energy!
Say no more!
You sure showed them.
All in a day's work. Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
It's crazy. I've never seen anything like these plants before. It's like they're an invasive species. Not that I'm surprised. Calaglia's all dry and Cyslodia is...
Watch out!
Ah! The hell? Is that a Zoogle?
That thing is huge! Everyone, be careful!
Ah, why can't these dumb plants just keep to themselves?
Less whining and more fighting, thanks.
Yeah, I got you.
Watch it. The enemy is over there. Get on in there with the others. Lancer. A world magic is them. Cyclone.
Glacial Spear!
Cover the caster.
Rising Wyvern!
Freeze Lancer. Dance in the wind. Air
Here I
drop.
go!
It's over.
Stardust!
Damn it! I can't get close enough to hit the main body!
Let's start by taking out the tentacles. Dance in the wind! Ares
Rising Wyvern!
Primed and ready.
First strike!
I never miss.
Oh, and here!
Dance in the wind!
Glacial Spear. Pierce the
Rising
evil.
I'll
Wyvern!
be saving this
Burn
one.
in hell!
Freeze
Magic
Blazer!
Stardust!
Here, let me help.
Ready and
Rising Wyvern!
I can carve through armor!
Oh, blah, blah, blah.
We're cleaning house.
Let me take the rest of them!
Well, someone's feeling lively.
Rising
Dance in
Wyvern!
the wind!
Excited.
Air thrust!
You're mine.
Stop!
Not on my watch!
Here I
Rising
go.
Wyvern!
I'm only
Light
getting
astral
started.
energy! Dance
Glacial
in the
Spear.
wind!
Stardust!
Pierce evil.
Air thrust! Freeze
Rising
Blazer!
Wyvern! I'm on it!
Dance in the wind!
More Sukals?
Air
Keep calm and
Rising
take them
Wyvern.
down.
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Dance in the wind!
Let me help.
Air thrust! Come on!
I owe you
I'll
one.
blow you to smithereens.
Dance in
Rising
the wind!
Wyvern!
Air thrust!
This one's all mine.
Stardust!
Dance in the wind!
Rising
Air
Wyvern!
thrust!
Stardust!
Fantastic! Great! Amazing!
Shut up, Law! I'm trying to focus.
I was only trying to be nice.
Here,
So those are Dan and
I'll be
Astral
saving
Arts.
this one.
Huh. Something you want to say? Not so long as you keep them pointed toward the enemy.
Rising
Lightning
Wyvern!
Condemned!
Talon
Thunder
Hurricane!
Blade! Mega Ray! Arc Sealed!
By the power
Not
of
on
water.
my watch! Raging Cascade!
I'm on it!
Leave the enemy's arc to me!
No complaints here!
Sealed!
That did it.
Let's get you off of
I owe you one.
It's on!
Light!
That did it.
Banana, let's go!
Stardust!
I'm on a roll! Deathfall!
Your power is a
Rising
spectacle
Wyvern!
to behold.
I'm not trying to be dramatic.
Not today!
Still, it's a part of you.
Rising
Embrace it.
Wyvern!
Thunder Field!
Next!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Rising Wyvern!
Dance in the wind!
Here I go.
Air thrust!
I'm all stopped up.
Stardust!
Dance in the wind!
Rising
I'm only
Wyvern!
getting started. Here I go. You're
Dance
mine.
in the wind! Air thrust!
Ready and
Here's a
ready!
healing arc.
Rising
Now
Wyvern!
you see what I can do! It must take guts to fight without a weapon.
We've got
I'm
him on
not
the run.
brave. Don't get cocky.
Pierce
Right.
evil.
Still anyone's fight.
Freeze Blazer!
Rising Wyvern!
Arc Seal! And again! Air thrust! Not in your dreams! Dance
Not
in
today!
The wind!
Glacial Spear.
Air
Pierce
thrust!
evil.
Rising Wyvern!
Freeze Laser! Dance in the wind!
Glacial Spear. Pierce evil.
Lightning Condemned! Freeze Laser! Thunder Blade!
Stardust!
Take it.
Rising Wyvern!
You're mine.
Dance in the wind!
Stop!
Air
Here I
thrust!
go. I'm only getting started.
Rising Wyvern!
Do it!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished. Everyone okay?
I'm starting to get that it's a trap feeling again, guys.
We'll just pray you're wrong. Hey, there's that cat.
Looks like it's not done leading us yet. I can feel my precision improving.
Should we really be lighting a campfire in the middle of a forest?
You scared of starting a fire? As long as we put it out thoroughly afterwards, we'll be fine. Really, it's a good thing to have a fire here. It'll keep the Zoogles away.
Have you both forgotten what we've come out here to do?
I'll let them relax, Shion. It's good to unwind every now and again.
If you say so.
87! 88! 89! Oh, shoot!
What the? Is the enemy attacking?
Sorry about that. You're not hurt, are you?
Law? What on Dana are you doing?
What am I doing? Training, obviously. I found these nice and heavy rocks that I decided to strap onto my arms, but I guess I didn't tie them down good enough because they went flying.
So you were doing improvised weight training. You and your crazy ideas.
I can't help it. If I'm not training, it's easy for me to get anxious.
Well, that's fair. Actually, I remember seeing you practicing your forms for some time when we were camping the other day.
Yep. No amount of muscle will do you any good if you don't stay on top of your fighting forms. It always feels good when I know I'm still sharp.
Sounds to me like you have too much pent-up energy.
Don't train so hard that you wind up hurting yourself, Law. I promise you, you're already perfectly strong as it is.
No, I'm not. You never know what we'll run into out there. You can never go into a fight too prepared. And that's the truth. Besides, I won't rest until I know that I'm stronger than you, Alphen.
Oh, I see how it is. Well, I don't plan on letting you beat me. Maybe I'll add some weights to my sword and practice swinging it. That should help out.
Alphen, are you crazy?
You're right. This does make for decent training. Good call with the extra weight, Law.
Right? Now you get it!
Since we've already come this far, what do you say we have a little one-on-one with our rocks strapped on?
Hell yeah! I'm down for that! Just give me a second, I'll be all ready to roll. Okay, I'm all set. Let's do this! Take this!
I'm just getting started.
Our camp is completely wrecked!
Go. You two are cleaning it up.
Yes, Shion.
You should get some shut-eye. Well, off we go.
This had better not all be for nothing.
Somehow I doubt it'll be a wasted trip.
Really?
You know, for a guard, you're not too good at tailing people. Not to brag, but this kind of thing is my specialty.
So it really is you. When Law told us, I almost didn't believe it.
I'm just surprised you could do two things at once, Law.
What's that supposed to mean?
It looks like somebody needs to be put in their place.
The one time I wanted to resolve things peacefully. What the hell? I thought you wanted us to leave!
You'll never make me talk!
Not helpful! In fact, you're pretty damn stubborn, you know that?
Burning?
This
one's mine!
Start it!
Tiger
Blade! Fang Blast!
Rising Wyvern! Its armor's too strong!
Then I'll split it open!
Be my guest!
Raging Cascade! Annihilation! Spread!
Rising Wyvern!
Talon Storm!
This one's all mine!
Igneous discharge!
Talon Hurricane! Burn in hell!
Annihilation! Wind Astral Energy!
Tiger Blade!
Armor won't save you!
Rising Wyvern!
Sighted!
First strike! You're done!
Not on my watch!
Stardust!
Raging Cascade!
Fang Blast!
Rising Wyvern!
Dance in the wind! Pierce Eagle! Thrust! Light Astral Energy!
Rising Wyvern!
You're mine!
Eagle Fly!
Take it! Go!
Stardust!
I'm only getting started! Magna Ray!
I'm on!
They're not playing
Charge!
around!
Hurricane!
Here, let me help! First aid!
Now I can let loose!
Dance in the wind!
Eat this!
Here I go!
I'll end you!
Go time!
Roll away!
Igneous
Discharge!
Water!
healing art! Thunder field! First aid!
Rising Wyvern!
By the power of water!
Eat this! Shattering pieces! Attack time!
Damn it! Dance in the wind! Healing art!
You picked the wrong fight!
Sleep now.
First aid!
I really
Rising
owe
Wyvern!
there with the others. Lightning condemned!
Mega ray! Thunder blade!
Igneous discharge!
Eat this!
Tiger
Wind
blade!
astral energy!
Searing flame! Reload!
Light
Eat
orb
this!
sealed!
All
Annihilation!
Igneous discharge!
Rising Wyvern!
Lightning orb! Light
Here's a healing
astral
art!
in the wind!
First
I
aid!
owe you
Sleep
one.
now. I'll be safe.
Rising Wyvern!
Hurricane! Searing flame!
Eagle dot!
I'm out of ammo! First
I
aid!
owe you one.
Eat
Rising Wyvern!
I'm on it!
Lightning orb!
Talon
A
Storm!
banana, let's go!
How about this?
Take this!
Air thrust!
Now you see what I can do!
Light astral!
This one's mine!
Talon Hurricane! Burn in hell!
Raging
Eagle
cascade!
Rising Wyvern!
Graviton field!
Tiger
Dance
blade!
in the wind!
I'm all stuck
Air
up!
thrust!
I'm on it!
Annihilation!
I'll finish you here and now! Whoa,
Searing
away!
flame! Lightning orb! Dance in
Rising
the wind!
Wyvern!
Flame! Air thrust!
I'm on it!
I'm out of ammo!
You're done! Whoa, away!
Howl! Hear me!
Time to shine! Far enough!
Close one!
Rising Wyvern!
Ready!
Talon Hurricane!
Don't mind if I do! Reload!
Eagle
Lightning
fly!
condemned!
Tiger blade!
Rising
I'm
Wyvern!
out of ammo! I'm all
First
stuck
strike!
Ground and storm! By the
Rising Wyvern!
Just it's go time! Armor won't save you!
This one's all mine!
Dance in the wind!
Burn! Dust and blood!
Rising Wyvern!
Here's a healing art!
Talon Hurricane!
Let loose!
Igneous discharge!
Rising Wyvern!
Hear me! Flame of fury!
Burning strike!
Ground and
Talon
storm!
Hurricane!
Rising Wyvern!
Eagle
I
fly!
never miss!
In here!
Start
I'll
up!
be saving this one!
Time to shine!
Rising Wyvern!
Talon
Wind
Hurricane! Do it!
astral energy! Lost!
Demons descend! Flashing fang!
What's your deal, huh? Did Dohalim put you up to this? You send us away and then come to finish us off? I don't buy it.
I wonder. We came here following a black cat. What reason could you have for tagging along? Certainly not as a spy.
You think she might have business with whoever called us out here?
And even if she did, I highly doubt she was trying to keep us from harm. Am I wrong? Just who was it that led us out here? Answer me.
Are you serious?
Hold your horses. I'm the one who summoned you all here. Well, maybe not all. Nice of you to drop by, Kisara. It's been a while.
You two know each other?
Hello, brother.
So, you're the big heroes who liberated Calaglia and Cyslodia, huh? It's an honor to meet you all.
We didn't do it all on our own. We had a lot of support from others along the way.
So, wait. Kisara's your sister?
Yep, that she is. The only family I have left. She was the dreamer of the two of us, full of hope for the future of this realm, for both Dahnans and Renans alike.
For siblings, you two don't exactly look like you're on the best of terms.
That's because Miguel here is a traitor. Isn't that right? We were in the Guard together. That is, until he was caught plotting to assassinate His Excellency Lord Dohalim. He took off after that.
Is that true?
You still believe that's what happened?
I don't see why I shouldn't.
Even if the truth slapped you in the face, you'd reject it. Same as back then. Heck, even now I'm still working to serve Lord Dohalim.
More lies. You haven't changed.
Before Lord Dohalim came to power, this country was ruled by an oppressive regime. We lost both of our parents to it. Back in those days,
There were countless Dahnan children who had been orphaned by the Renan's tyranny, just like us. So we formed our own families among ourselves and helped each other out, surviving as best we could. And then Lord Dohalim came along. He abolished the oppression that kept us down, and the Dahnans were treated like people again. Menancia was reborn under his watch, and orphaned children became a thing of the past.
If so, then why did you betray him?
I'm not done talking. I'm sure you know the Renans are trying to harvest astral energy from us Dahnans.
Yes. Shion here told me that's how they decide their next sovereign.
That's right. There are 5 types of astral energy: earth, water, fire, wind, and light. All of them are contained within every living being.
And that's the excuse they use to enslave us.
You ever wondered what happens to living beings and other matter when they lose all their astral energy?
They just die, or so I thought.
If only. See for yourselves.
What the... Is that metal?
Not metal, but to be honest, your guess is as good as mine. I believe it's... nothing. Matter with no physical form. Just a reminder of what was once there. They call it the hollowing.
The hollowing?
The process itself is invisible to the naked eye, but it makes the impacted area reflective. Once it consumes my whole body, that's it for me. I'm dead.
What? That can't... Miguel... When were you going to...
A sinister plot is unfolding as we speak. One Lord Dohalim is likely none the wiser to. It was blind luck I even found out about it. I tried to warn the man for all the good it did. Take a look at this. It's called the Fruit of Helgen. When a Dahnan eats this fruit, their body enters a heightened state, one that causes them to emit more astral energy than usual.
Hold on. Could this be the reason Alphen and Law were feeling out of sorts last night after we ate with Dohalim?
Sounds like you've been introduced to these things before. None too surprising either. Most of the realm's food supply contains traces of the fruit.
If that's what we ate, does that mean we'll become hollowed like your hand?
You don't need to worry. You'd have to consume a large amount of the fruit regularly to exhibit any symptoms.
But if that's the case, then why aren't I showing any symptoms? Why would you be inflicted and not me?
If I had to guess, because the guards' meals are free of it. Otherwise, they'd risk Lord Dohalim noticing. I tried to warn him, but all it got me was locked up. They force-fed me the fruit the entire time I was in chains. It's a miracle I made it out. They eventually left me for dead, thinking I would succumb to my condition. But I survived and managed to escape.
So the assassination plot, just a cover-up?
What?
Eventually, I found others like me, and together we founded the Gold Dust Cats. Our mission is to uncover the truth and warn Lord Dohalim. As you can see, though, we haven't gotten very far in that regard. But I'm hoping that's about to change, now you're here.
Which is all thanks to your faithful feline servant.
It was a shot in the dark, but fortunately you recognized her for what she was, and Zare accomplished her mission with flying colors.
So what's our plan of attack, boss?
One of the Lord's routine inspections of the city. It's the only time commoners can talk to him face to face. That's the idea, anyway. His security is bound to be on high alert, but with you lot along, it's the best chance we're going to get to approach him.
All right, we're in. But I have to know, how do you keep going with all you've been through? How have you not given up hope?
Hey, someone has to fight for the future of the Dahnans here.
The future?
Lord Dohalim may be a wonderful person, but in the end, he's still a lord like any other. And lords can be replaced. Once the current contest is over, the next lord of Elba Menancia will take over. Then it'll be back to square one for all of us. That's why it's imperative Lord Dohalim sees the light.
You really believe Dohalim is going to stick his neck out for a Dahnan like you?
Is it so impossible to imagine? Everything begins with a simple leap of faith.
Hmm?
Huh?
Right. Huh? Uh-huh. Can't sleep?
And you?
I woke up randomly and couldn't fall back asleep. I'll go back to bed once I get tired again.
How's your shoulder?
Huh? My shoulder? Oh, you mean where Dohalim smacked me? It feels a little off, but... it's fine. I'll manage.
Doesn't look like it's gotten much better. I'll give you some more healing. That should do the trick.
Hey, yeah, you're right. That feels much better. Thanks, Shionne.
I've been thinking about what happened, and I was out of line. I know it takes more than a couple of bullets to bring down a lord.
Forget about it. It's fine now. We all got out of there safe, and now you've healed me up too. We're going to take down all the lords. That was the promise we made, right?
Yeah, I guess. But there was one other thing I wanted to ask you. Back at the palace, Law said you took that hit because you were worried about me. What was it you were worried about?
That's kinda hard to explain.
Just tell me.
Well, for one, if we lost you, I wouldn't be able to use the blazing sword anymore.
Obviously.
But more important than that, I guess I just couldn't let you die. Honestly, I think that's all there is to it.
There you go saying stuff like that again. You never learn, do you? But...
Anyway, it's necessary so we can fulfill our promise, right?
Right. Glad you remember that much.
You okay? Anyway, I think I'm gonna go to bed.
Sleep well. What am I doing?
I sent Kisara back to town under the cover of night.
You do realize that she was searching for you all this time, right?
I wonder why. She never could let things go, ever since we were kids. Maybe she was keeping an eye on you all because she thought you might cause trouble. I wouldn't be surprised.
Do we need to be worried about her? She could easily report us.
Even if we could have kept her here, it would have just raised more suspicion. Besides, I want to believe in her.
More leaps of faith, huh?
Once we make our move, I'll send Zare to come fetch you again. Until then, stay close and try not to wander off too far.
Guess we're waiting on word from Miguel for the time being.
Let's go out somewhere then. Twiddling my thumbs isn't my style.
I'm going with you if you are. If I let you people go unsupervised, you'd probably wind up too far out for Miguel's news to reach.
Oh, come on. We're not children.
How about you make like the rest of the city and play nice for once?